Welcome everybody to SciViz 2020. This is our 5th time putting on this event, and we're so glad that everyone could join us during this very unusual year. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to introduce the organizing team and thank all of those who contributed to putting the event together. First, the team. My name is Jill Gregory, and I am a co-founder of SciVizNYC. I am also the Associate Director of Instructional Technology at Mount Sinai, with a background in medical illustration. In my role, I create visuals for research and clinical faculty to communicate their science to colleagues and the general public. Gail?
Hi, I'm Dr. Gail Justin, Director of Instructional Technology, promoting visualization, play, and educational best practices for teaching and learning and research activities here at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. I attribute my unique approach to a degree in history and my experience as a professor of history, English, and art history. I add in absentia introduction for Amy Zong, who is unable to be here at the moment, but who has contributed a great deal to this day. A member of our team, the Instructional Technology Group, with a medical illustration background, she is a scientific visualizer and an instructional designer. Amy's innovative work combining those fields has substantially enriched medical education research and pedagogy here at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. Nika?
Hi, my name is Nika Ford, and I am an academic medical illustrator for the Instructional Technology Group with a focus on medical visualizations for publication, 3D modeling, and virtual reality for classroom learning.
Thanks, Nika and Gail. I'm going to share my screen in 2 seconds. Okay, so welcome, and here's a picture of Amy, who's not here today, and the rest of us you already have just met. First, some thank yous. I'd like to thank our leadership here at Mount Sinai, the Academic Informatics and Technology Department at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai sponsors this event and is making it possible to present it free of charge this year. I want to especially recognize Deputy CIO and Senior Associate Dean Paul Lawrence for his steadfast support since our first meeting in 2016. I also want to thank the school and IT leadership, namely Dean Dennis Charney and CIO Kristen Myers. I also want to thank everyone at Mount Sinai who worked to ensure a successful event. Eric Popple and Carter Lim from Instructional Technology, Larry Freed, Sean Lockett, and John Silvestri from Academic Support, and Arcadia Cruz from Academic Informatics. I also want to recognize Scientific American for being a founding sponsor of SciVizNYC and for providing a video that we'll play during the break this afternoon. Now for some housekeeping. During the keynote and 30-minute presentations, the organizing team will be moderating the Q&A. Please enter questions into the chat window with an asterisk before the question, and we will ask them in the Q&A sessions that will follow the presentations. We are recording these sessions. They'll be posted to YouTube after the event. At the end of the presentations at 4:30, we will be holding a virtual networking event using the breakout rooms. Everyone is welcome to join, even if you didn't sign up at registration. Please use social media liberally during this event. You can use hashtags SciVizNYC 2020 or just SciVizNYC. And a last note, while NYC is in our name, this year we are a truly global event. In fact, we have registrants from every continent except Antarctica. We thought it would be fun to conduct a quick poll right now to see who's in the room. So I'm going to launch the poll. And if you could just click where you're sharing from, and I'll share the results in a second. And I apologize, learning the ropes of a huge Zoom meeting that I needed to open up the waiting room. So a bunch of people just joined us a little bit late. Sorry, that was on me. We're doing a poll right now. If you could enter where you're sharing from, where you're joining us from, that would be wonderful. Thank you, and apologies for that. Okay. So we are majority coming from North America, but we do have every continent represented except for Antarctica. I was hoping for maybe a surprise visit from someone on the South Pole, but that's great. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our introductory speaker, Dr. Scott Friedman, who is the Dean of Therapeutic Discovery at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, who is going to provide opening remarks. So I will stop my share and provide it.
So I'll just, on behalf of Mount Sinai, welcome you all, tell you how lucky we are to have such an enlightened leadership, and in particular want to thank Jill, Gail, and Nika, as well as Paul Lawrence. And just to, I was honored and a little surprised when Jill asked me to introduce the conference, but not entirely surprised because Jill has been a spectacular partner in enhancing the value of our work. But I have to admit that as a photographer, I've always understood the immense power of visual descriptions. And perhaps I can illustrate that best with a very, very brief bit of history. I'm just going to share some images. So back in 1993, I had the honor of being invited to write a review article for the New England Journal of Medicine, which, as you no doubt know, is a very visible article. And I was struggling to figure out how to make it appealing and approachable. And actually, my chair at the time suggested that maybe I should draw diagrams. And what you're looking at are the two images that were drawn, not by Jill, unfortunately, because I think her work is even more elegant. But it turns out that these were the first illustrated drawings that I'm aware of by the use of New England Journal of Medicine. So I'm very proud of that. But I do think that the quality of illustration has even gotten better over the years. So this is not at all a static art. And I just want to underscore that by showing an updated version of what I showed you that was done by Jill, and say that as a scientist, my images have been my calling card, and they've been enormously powerful, not only in disseminating information, but also, frankly, branding my own work and translating it in a way that makes it understandable. And I think certainly, I don't have to underscore too heavily how valuable science is in this time more than any. The reliance or the recognition now, as vaccines are being approved in the context of COVID, that science has prevailed and will continue to prevail and save lives. But that science needs to be translated into understandable images, not really just for scientists, but more importantly for the public. And that's why all of your skills are so vital, more vital than ever, in conveying critical concepts that ultimately influence in a positive way public opinion, but more importantly, public health. So with that, I'll stop sharing and just again, thank you. And as a scientist who's been at this now for almost 40 years, how much I want to say how much I deeply value what all of you are doing, how critical it is now more than ever. And how grateful I am to Jill for her partnership in using these images to convey science, and hope that your scientists are as lucky in having partners with you. So with that, I'll just thank you. I'm going to have to sign off, but thank you again, Jill.
Thank you.
And thanks, Gail.
Thank you so much, Dr. Friedman. We really appreciate having you as a partner. So,
my pleasure. And I will point out those two taller buildings in the background are Mount Sinai. So if you want to know where we sit, this is an autumn view of the towers of Mount Sinai. So thanks again, and good luck with your conference.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really inspiring to hear the collaboration and the appreciation of collaboration going on here.